First of all, last but not least, or first but not last, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Let's just take a look at the receivers that have come with. Trying to get it on the camera. There's a box there with the MEUS transmitter in it. So some of you will know I was fitting the hot racing set up to various rigs that I've got in the build process at the moment, and I saw the video on Crawler Canyon of him reviewing the MEUS version, and there's many reasons why it's better, and I reached out to MEUS and they agreed to send me out this kit. So this is free, so make of that what you will. I'm not here to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. I just wanted to be completely honest and upfront about that. So they've sent out 3 extra receivers, and I believe there's one in the box as well. So let's just take a look at these. This is the MEUS 6A, which can give you telemetry. It is a 6-channel, plus I do believe it's also a power supply. Really fully featured. Now, I think this would go really well in something like a scalar build. You know, lots and lots of functionality built into the transmitter that you can use with a receiver like this. Simple, you know, plus minus and signal, or minus plus and signal, and a little whip antenna. In my experience, the other day I was a long way away from my rig with one of these receivers in. I'm just assuming at this point that they are hot racing rebranded and reinvented, shall we say, for the MEUS brand. This is the MO4A, so this is just a version of the MO6 there, a smaller version. So this would be ideal in a comp build or something like that, and this is actually going in one of the comp builds that I've got on the worktop at the moment being worked on. And this is for you micro guys, mini crawlers. So I have full intention of trying to fit this into my Mini 18, because as you know, I don't really do the smaller stuff because of big sausage fingers, and as you can see, I hurt one of my fingers the other day and it really hurts. This is the MO4B, so this is the tiny little version. Now, if I'm not mistaken, in this bag here, if I wanted to use this in my UTB18, all I would do is plug this. I haven't really planned on showing these bits off, guys, but let's get that plugged in there, and then that goes into a normal receiver lead, I think. So this is a little adapter, so you could use this on a normal size build, but then, you know, all the extra stuff you've gained there, I'm not sure what you've gained really by having a tiny little receiver. But if space was at a premium, you could do that, or of course use it for its intended purpose, which would be in something like a UTB18. I was going to put my thumb in the shot, but I've got quite big thumbs. I'm just trying to think if there's anything here. So for scale, there's a 10 scale angled rod end. As you can see, this little receiver is tiny, and again, the range is going to be more than anything you're going to ever need for something like this, in my experience. So as you can see, it does come with a USB data and charging cable. You can actually charge the controller from a USB-C. Let's just put that with a box so I don't lose it. And the receiver that is included is an M10A. That is not huge. It's sort of standard receiver size, maybe a fraction bigger, but as you can see, 10 channels. So if you had an all singing and all dancing, winching, digging, like a Matt's off-road recovery style rig, then this 10 channel will be perfect for you. And again, the range on this is really, really good. And it does come very fully featured. There is an 186, I think it's an 18650. Yeah, there's an 18650 included. Oh, look at that. That's very clever. I did just try to switch it on. They've got a little tab stopping the 18650 making connection. So we just do that. Let's get rid of the sticker. And we hit the on button. And there we go. There will be like a dedicated review of this, so I'm not going to go through everything now. But the wheel out of the box, the wheel does feel nicer than the Hot Racing one. I do notice that my thumb hits that up there. That might be a little bit annoying. So there's a momentary there and a 3 position there. So the reason I actually reached out to MEUS to get one of these is that I want to, that beep there is for centre on the button, which is nice. You know, you don't have to be looking to know where you're centred. I wanted a rig for my UTB18 and other 3-wheel steer rigs that are inbound. And I figured this would be the kiddie because they've just released a firmware for this that really, really does let you make the most of the buttons and the knobs and stuff like that for 4-wheel steering. Three-wheel steering? I mean, it could be if you don't do one of your nuts up. Let's have a quick look at the quick start guide. I would imagine that this is very, very basic, but I'm sure everything you need is in there. MEUS have been one of the better companies. I hope you're listening, INJORA. That MEUS have been one of the better companies at providing us with manuals and instructions. So there you can see it. It gives you an exploded layout of everything, including all the on-screen items. It also has some basic settings there for fail-safe, binding, battery, etc. And I'm sure if you download one of those, it will just take you to the Facebook or the YouTube. I was going to say it will take you to a more featured manual, but there it all is. It's all on the back. 4-wheel steering, there we go. Look, mixes, enter mixes, steering, 4-wheel steer. There you go. Everything you need to know about that is on there. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to using the new MEUS receiver and transmitter setups in the builds that I've got on the go. I'm just about to release a video on ReVolt Tsunami. There's a little sneak peek on the screen of Venom, and here's a little sneak peek of the Hulk, which are both in progress at the moment, and at least one of them is going to be 4-wheel steer. So there we go. Look out if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about this incredible radio. So fully featured, beautiful foam on the wheel, and it's got a bit of weight to it. It doesn't feel like a cheap set, but this is a multi-channel radio, up to 10 channels, and it's 40 UK pounds. That's incredible, really is. I remember when you couldn't get into the hobby without some serious wonga. So on to the MEUS section of the video, and the INJORA section of the video. thank you for sending these out, Injora. I really appreciate you. And this is the Injora Klingon in S5. The foams, I would say, would be absolutely perfect if you weren't doing side hills. These would give you a ton of grip. They're like a medium soft. But yeah, let's get rid of that, because I also asked Injora to send me out some of their green silicons for the 1.9 475s. And I don't know if you've used these before, but if you have, don't worry about the odd shape, because as soon as you get a metal ring in there, that pulls everything into shape. And I know this because I've used lots of these in the past. Really nice machined ring with the Injora logo on it. And they sent me out a set of these 1.9s. I'll put the SKU on the screen, and of course everything as always is going to be linked below with some other stuff that I think you might find useful or interesting. Don't forget to vent these, guys. It's not a vented wheel, so if you do get a tyre, you will get so much more performance out of your tyres when they're vented. If you don't, they just balloon, they don't bag at the bottom properly. This S5 compound on these Injora Klingons with the voided lugs, this is known as a voided lug, where the centre of the lug is missing. These feel very, very sticky. I'm actually putting them together now. Here's one I haven't done yet, because I'm going to film the putting together of ones. These went together very, very easily. They fell together. You know, you just put the ring in the centre, drop the front in, flip it over, and then turn the back. But one thing with these wheels I will mention is they come with only 2 bolts in, so you have to bolt the hub. But this outer ring also has these tiny little screws. Let me just grab one. These tiny, tiny little screws. Let's bring it a bit closer. These tiny little screws. And you have to put one every other hole, because the other hole is where the face screws back into. Not the face, the back in. Let me just grab that. Yeah, when you bolt them together, this goes into the other holes. But yeah, you have to put these tiny, tiny little screws every other hole all around there. So make sure you do that, and make sure you vent your tyre. It's not going to matter if you get water in. It's not like the old days where if you had a foam, you know, it would get wet and then it would just fall to pieces. These silicone inserts will just last for ages. Now, they will degrade, but I doubt anybody is going to ever fall foul of that. I would imagine that these would stay in usable condition for at least 2 to 3 years. And by then, I would imagine you'd either have sold the rig, retired it, changed the tyre and insert or something like that. So the longevity that you get out of these, the robustness and the water resistance and everything is incredible. I'm really looking forward to getting out with the S5 Injora Klingon, because they were one of the best tyres that I tried on my goat, on my what was it called, the little 18 scale jobby that's on the screen right now. And yeah, it performed really, really well on those. So I'm looking forward to getting out. Spidey's going to be the guy testing these, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. This video didn't cost me anything for a change. Usually I fund everything that comes into the channel, but Injora and MEUS were very kind. They're 2 brands that I've used a lot and that I'm very happy with. I've never really had a negative interaction with these guys, so I'm quite happy to get a product in from them and then recommend it to you, because I use this stuff myself. That's it for this one. Remember, no matter the question, love is always the answer, and I will see you guys in the next video. What did I forget to do, guys? I forgot to vent them. Bloody hell. I haven't done that for weeks, and I've mounted quite a few tyres. Oh well. Yeah, I guess this is a good opportunity for you to see the tyre just balloons out and it doesn't give the way it should. You can tell, see it bulging out. Bloody Nora.